Alright, so in this lecture, we're going to be talking about a specific term with pandas. Actually, this lecture, maybe next and a few more, we'll be talking about specific terms. So the whole concept is of data structures, okay? Data structures are basically structures in which you can have data inside. So the first data structure that has been introduced in pandas is something called a series, okay? So a series is again a one-dimensional object. So when I say two-dimensional, I mean something that has both rows and columns. So it's, like a 2D figure, maybe a square. So it has one side and a top. A one-dimensional, on the other hand, is just a string of, or maybe an array of data, okay? So a series is a one-dimensional object, and it's quite similar to an array, a list, or maybe a column of a table. So it doesn't have any of the rows concept, but it's basically just one column, or maybe one row. It's assigned a label index, so you can call on each object in your series using indexation. I mean, it's probably quite similar to lists as well. And it starts off with 0. So it's quite similar to a list. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So what we're going to do is we say import pandas as PD. So throughout this section, and actually in almost all cases when you're using pandas, you're going to say import pandas as PD, okay? And then all you want to do is say, give your series a name. So normally series starts with an S. So you just say S is equal to pd.series. And actually S is capital over here. And then you're just going to specify what is in your series. So you're going to do something, it can be anything again. So it's a series, it can be any type of data. You can have integers, strings, floats, anything you want. So just go ahead and put some random data. I'm going to put 10. Namaste, 23.5, and let's do one more hello. All right, so this is our pandas series, okay? And if you print out S, if you just hit S and hit F5, actually, you know what? I should be doing this in the shell. So let me just after this happens, I'll go ahead and do that. So what's happening? Okay, it's not gonna work because we're not printing it out. Give me 1 sec here, guys. I'm just gonna write the code back. Import pandas as PD or S is equal to pd.series. And let me just copy my data from here. Sorry about that. Okay. Cool. So now if I print out S, I get 0, 1, 2, 3, 10, namaste, 23.5, and hello. So this is basically your first data structure that you've This is your first data structure that you've created in pandas. Take a look. So, like I said before, there is indexation in a series. What you can do is after you create a series, you can call on each object by using, the specific indexes. So 0, 1, 2, 3. If you did something like S0, I think this is how it works. Yeah. If you do S0, you get the first index. It's 10. If you do S1, you're going to get your second index. It's namaste. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to minimize this thing so that you still see it because it was quite big right now. Okay. Right. So this is a series where we created a simple array, I guess you could say, and we got an index. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, many times when you're creating such data, you might want to use a different index, right? So instead of using 0, 1, 2, 3, maybe you were using letters. So A, B, C, D. Maybe this was a question and it was a multiple choice question and you had 4 options, A, B, C, D. How do you do that? How do you change the index instead of making it 0, 1, 2, 3? So there is an index parameter in the in the pd.series function. So we've created our series, and then what you can do is say comma index is equal to whatever you want. So since there are 4 objects, you probably should have 4 indexes. So let's go ahead and do A, B, C, and D, and D. Okay, and then all you have to do is now, if you print out S, you get A is 10, B is namaste, C is 23.5, D is hello. And now again, what you can do is, just like we did with 0, 1, 2, 3, if you say A, you're going to get 10, and so on. Alright, so this was series. Again, you can use series in a multitude of different data. So you can use dictionaries in series, you can use arrays, you can use whatever you want. Let's quickly do an example of dictionaries. So if you do S is equal to pd.series, capital there, and let's go ahead and or actually, no, let's actually create the dictionary first and then just call it s.pd. So let me delete. Okay, no, you can't delete this. So I'm gonna call my dictionary D, and I'm gonna create a very simple dictionary of maybe population. So let's do 5 or maybe 4 cities. Seattle's population might be, I don't know, 1 million. I actually have no clue right now. That's 6 zeros, I believe. Yes. Let's do 2 more. Let's do maybe San Francisco. Let me actually quotations. San Francisco to be 5 million. I actually don't know the population, so I'm just gonna put some random values. 5, and let's do maybe 1 more. Seattle, San Francisco. Let's do another S. We'll do San Jose. Okay, so San Jose should be, let's do 1.5 maybe. So 1,500. That is too many. 500,000. Okay, cool. So we have Seattle, San Francisco, and we have this. I believe San Francisco has 1 less zero than we require. There we go. Cool. So D is now our dictionary. What we can do now is let's call a new series, and cities is now equal to pd.series and then D. So in the previous series we created it with arrays. We are now creating our new pd.series with a dictionary. So if you print out cities now, you get San Francisco 5 million, San Jose 1.5 million, and Seattle 1 million. So this I think this is ordered based on which letter comes first. San Fran, the San are same in both, but since F comes before J, I think that's how it got ordered, that's how it's got indexed. But now that we have seen this, what you can also do is just like in dictionaries, you can say cities and then get a specific value. So Seattle, and we'll get 1 million. And then there's also the concept of indexing for selection. So this is maybe a little bit confusing, but the way this works is you can do something like cities, and then you can specify, I want the cities in which the value is greater than 1 million. That is 6 zeros. Okay. So if you say cities is, or which cities is greater than 1 million, you're going to get San Francisco and San Jose. So basically all it's doing here is it's checking each city's value and it's seeing, hey, is the value greater than 1 million? And then it's returning only those cities whose value is greater than 1 million. So again, this is a very simple introductory lecture into a series. Let's do a quick recap. We learned how to initialize a series. We learned it's a one-dimensional data structure. We learned how to create a simple PD series using an array. Then we learned how to do it with a dictionary. We learned how it gets indexed, how to change the index. And then we learned how to use Boolean indexing for selection. So we realized that you can get specific results by specifying a parameter. Suppose if you had maybe number of students and you wanted to get those classes which have X number of students, you can specify that parameter over here. You can do something like, I only want the cities whose the value is equal to 1 million, equal to. And by doing that, maybe that'll give us Seattle. There we go. So you can use such parameters to get the specific values you want. Again, we will talk a lot more about this future on. Right now, just try to understand the concept of how Pandas works, how series works. And in the next lecture, we'll go ahead and talk about the next data structure, which is going to be data frame. See you then.